Hello, everybody, and welcome to What We're Into. This is a show where Roxy and I talk about the stuff that we are not able to fit into the main episode. And boy, do we have some treats for y'all today. Starting with the show we probably should have talked about last week, but I had forgotten that it was back. But now we're here, and we're talking about Barry. Season 3, specifically, we're talking about all 3 episodes so far, but specifically we're talking about it's not season 3, it's season 4. Season 4, episode 3, You're Charming. Sally begins teaching her acting class. Jean is unsure of the article. Barry's deal gets underway. Hank's past confronts him. And immediately just reading that, there's a lot to talk about. But specifically what I want to ask Roxy about, because I feel like she'll have some insight on, what did you think of Sally's acting class?
It was so funny because I didn't flinch. I thought that was super normal.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was toxic.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been in 5 million of these.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the actors were almost too old to have felt that way. Like, I kind of thought that we were going to pan to them and it was going to be a bunch of like majorly Gen Z.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of millennials. And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I had a chair thrown at me. There's no way that you are an actor in your 30s and that's the acting class that bothered you. Like,
yeah, that's your breaking point. Well, because I was like, I mean, it's not getting a chair thrown at you. I think there's a line to be drawn there. Let's not go to physical violence. But I was like, this is definitely not the worst thing I've seen on this show.
I mean, people are getting murdered.
Yeah.
I think she did a really solid job, and like I like that the girl stays.
Yeah, because I think now I'm trying to distinguish the line in my brain, and I think
what do you think it is?
I think the line in my brain is she's the distinction of I'm not saying these things to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying these things to get you to a place. Like I'm not like, and I think I understand the critique of. I guess that's the thing. Maybe we're fucked up, Roxy, because we're out here. Because it's like you hear like Stanley Kubrick stories, and you're like, well, what she did is nothing. Like, what do you like? She's not psychologically torturing a person. She's saying my read of the situation. She's saying some hard truths that in a way that is probably meaner than is warranted, but is getting the actor to a place.
Just tell the girl like the truth of the matter is she didn't do her homework.
Yeah.
And when you pay for an acting class, which is very expensive, and you don't do your homework and you show up unprepared, it's taking away time from other people. It's fucking obnoxious. Anybody who's an actor who's been in class before has experienced this moment where you're just like, fuck you fucking ass. Like, do your work or don't come to class or don't be here. Like,
yeah.
Or say at the top, hey, I'm actually not going to take time today because I didn't have time to do this. Like, yeah. I thought that girl was obnoxious.
Yeah. Okay.
Sally, I didn't really mind. I know that's probably just the way that I came up, but like.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that you had the similar action, but I do think it is interesting that she stays, and I do think that's a compelling direction to take Sally in. I think Sally might be the biggest question mark of like, I don't know where we're. Oh shit, things are going to get really dark. This season's really, we talked a little bit about this when we were off there last week. This isn't really a comedy anymore. This episode had some of the funnier moments we've had all season. Like specifically, I'm thinking about Gene and his lawyer, I think, when they break into the one variety reporter's house. That was one of the more openly comedic moments we've had all season.
Yep. It's not a comedy, DJ.
Yeah.
It's an hour drama.
Yeah.
Like now the episodes are long.
Yeah.
Like Ted Lasso also, and we'll talk about that, but like Ted Lasso's episodes are 52 minutes. It is so funny that we are in a place now where we're calling like these borderline dramas. Barry's not borderline, Barry's straight up drama.
Yeah.
Like half-hour comedies, when it's like,
yeah,
you're neither half-hour nor are you a comedy.
Yeah, because you wouldn't call Succession a comedy, even though it has some of the funniest moments on TV, but it's not a comedy. So similarly, like Barry can be funny, but especially with Barry, let's go over the Barry. Barry's completely. We're not even pretending
You mean
Barry's
the
a good
character?
person. The
No.
character Barry. We're not even pretending he's a good person anymore. Like that
Well, I
illusion's
don't
gone.
know, DJ. It's so hard to tell because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, this is I guess a silly question, but he's the protagonist of the show, right?
Yes. Ostensibly, he is the protagonist of the show. Although it feels like we're seeing, I guess because he's in prison, it feels like we're seeing less of him.
Yeah, but in your gut, in your core, when the shootout happens, you're rooting for him to kill everybody and win, right?
Yes.
Do you think he is a better or worse guy / protagonist than Walter White?
I have more sympathy for Barry than Walter White because Walter White is very much a product of his decisions, where increasingly Barry's like an animal in a cage. Like the series opens with him in a life of not his choosing, basically, and his attempts to extricate himself from that were disastrous. So I have more sympathy for him than Walter, but also he needs to be stopped. like now I'm worried he's gonna like abduct Sally. Like,
but it's kind of like a pretty spot on comparison, I feel, even though I made it, because like kind of tale as old as time in terms of like we're rooting for him when we like him.
yeah. Well, like I don't know that I would articulate that I like him anymore.
Not we like him like
Yeah.
we want to be friends with him, but like we like him as the lead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's similar.
We're interested in him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's similar. Like again, I'm catching up on Succession. Spoilers. And there are a lot of situations that
spoilers.
I have an inkling of whatever the big thing might be in season 4, but Succession doesn't show up on my feed the way like Game of Thrones or like Marvel shit does.
Can you tell me what the inkling is? And I'm not going to make.
I don't wanna. I'm
not going to make a face.
The impression I've been getting, obviously a big thing happens in season 4. The impression I've been given is that maybe Logan dies. And if that's the case, I don't know what prevented you all from like cheering and marching in the streets and thanking God because he's a fucking monster. But to that point, I'm not rooting for anybody in Succession except when they get in situations you're like, oh my God, how are they going to get out of this jam? Like there's a compelling element of like and there's moments where you're like, oh, I feel bad for Kendall. Wait. He killed a dude. You know what I mean?
Totally. The most recent episode, I won't give any spoilers, but there was, or second most recent episode, I was like, oh my God, I really feel bad for this character right now. I'm really rooting for them. And then I remembered everything they've done and was like, why am I rooting for them? And then the next episode, they did something horrific. And I was like, Roxy, are you an idiot? Like, what? That bad people.
Yeah,
through and through. Not one of them is
through
decent.
and through. Yeah, I have trouble trying to even find Roxy. Oh my God, this isn't a Succession conversation, but there's a moment, and I hate that I do this when I'm catching up. I'm trying to have people remember something from like 4 years ago. I think is when season 2 was on the air. But there's this moment where Tom has info on Greg that could get him out of like he knows Greg's talking to a journalist trying to write a book on Logan and he can out him and he doesn't, and there's just this moment where like Greg and Tom have a moment, like Tom holds Greg's hand and I'm like, oh my God, this might be the only moment in the show so far that's a genuine human, like it might not even be genuine, but something approaching a genuine human interaction.
Yeah.
And it's like a little bit of gold. Anyway, we'll talk about it. I
can't wait for you to catch up. Hurry.
One of the most masterful things about the show, I will say, is the way I have very thankfully never been in a relationship like this, but the way they articulate Logan, the abusive relationship Logan creates, where he is just a genuine fucking beast, like he's a fucking monster, but he'll give this just enough of like affection to get everybody scrambling for it, and it's like, God, oh my fucking God, this fucking guy. Anyway, I hope they all die in the show, not in real life. The actors are incredible. Back to Barry. What are we supposed to? So there's the sequence. We've got the variety reporter. He's talking to Gene. He goes to talk to the detective's dad, and then the detective's dad tortures him. Like, what am I supposed to have gleaned from this interaction?
Are you talking about Barry in the scene with the?
No, I'm talking about that reporter that's suddenly speaking German, like Gene and what's his face
Oh
breaking
yeah,
his house.
I don't really know when he's sitting back with his wife.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, I thought, aren't we rooting for the detectives, Dad? What information are you trying to give me about this guy now?
I don't know. I'm not sure. And then like, did we know that he always could speak other languages?
No, well, in fact, the wife says like he doesn't. Bless you. He doesn't.
I know the
he doesn't
wife
speak
didn't know,
German.
but did we know?
No, I don't know what that
means.
means.
Is that true? Like, or could that be like? Has there ever been anybody who's like been traumatized or woken up from a coma or something, speaking a different language that they couldn't speak?
I think I think it's just meant to be funny and an implication of how dark it is. But I don't. I mean, realistically, it has to come from somewhere, right? He didn't teach him German. Unless he did, unless that's what we're supposed to understand from the situation.
Or that he knew it as a child. Childhood trauma, DJ. It's real.
Yeah, I don't know.
Keep up,
so this
DJ.
This is all preamble to. By the way, I've got to say, Bill Hader really knocking out of the park in he's directing every episode this season, and if this is him, like, hey, I'd like to direct more. Wow, great calling card, my dude, because whole episode, but specifically the final action sequence. God, the whole bit where he sees Fred Armisen and he's like, that guy's here to fucking kill me. And everybody's like, wait, I thought this guy was with you. The whole way it plays out is fucking insane.
Insane. I have logistical questions about the guy in the ceiling.
True. Yes.
I was just like,
mm-hmm.
They're in prison, right? Like,
yeah.
How'd you get there with a gun? Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this sequence was maybe my favorite of the season so far.
Yeah.
Because it was just like Barry being observant, because it's what he did for so many years. Us rooting for Barry, questioning why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Barry escaping with a gun. Like, essentially, I'm also just loving the dynamic between. Why the fuck do I always forget his name? Not Cousineau, not NoHo Hank, the other guy who's in jail.
Oh, Stephen Root's character. I also forget his name. Yeah, but I know Stephen Root. Yeah.
Him and Barry, like, turning on each other and not turning on each other and turning on each other and not turning on each other.
Yeah.
And then, like, what this means for that, and them both trying to put a hit on each other and then save each other and then hit on it, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm just really liking that dynamic. I don't know where we go, DJ.
Yeah, I'm worried. He's definitely going to try and kidnap Sally, which I'm not looking forward to.
Well, this is going to be the most, like, controversial thing I've ever said, but, like, do you think she doesn't want to go?
But let's ask in the comments, is that the most controversial thing Roxy has ever said?
Probably not, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not getting the sense that she's not into him.
God, I hope not, man. I hope not. I hope she has enough sense to be like, no thanks.
Does she have the worst mom on the planet?
Fucking up there again. Tough to say because I'm in the middle of watching Succession, so it's a tight race. It's a tight race.
Yeah, totally.
That's interesting. I think they're doing that. Actress is really great. I think they're doing interesting things with her. I'll be interested. I do. What is our bot? Who makes it out of this season? I feel like Barry probably not. Stephen Root probably not. Sally, let's hope.
I think the opposite, maybe.
You think that Stephen Root and Barry make it, but Sally doesn't?
Maybe.
That's some bleak shit, Roxy. You're hitting us with some bleak shit early in the morning.
It's about like who gets caught in your crosshairs, not who's the impetus for all of it.
Yeah. Oof. Before we move on,
I think NoHo Hank lives.
God, I hope so. I love NoHo Hank, and God bless him because him and his boyfriend are one of the few like consistent like comedy. Hey, it's a comedy. Like their efforts to like make their little crime empire, and also Guillermo del Toro. I don't know if you caught this, Roxy. The gangster that comes in is Guillermo del Toro. Bizarre. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God.
Going to NoHo Hank for a second, not to get all like actory on everybody, but I just think it's just his character shows the importance of choices as an actor and like how you can make the biggest choice you want. And like sometimes that just really fucking works because think about how lackluster his character would be if
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't playing him. Like
Yes.
it's his voice, it's his
Mm-hmm.
movement, it's the choices he's making. It's not his dialogue.
Yeah.
Not that they don't do a great job with his dialogue, but like
Yeah, but that's not what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on paper, he's kind of the same as the rest of them. And like
Mm-hmm.
what he decided to bring to this character, I don't think anybody else would have come up with.
I totally agreed. And it's definitely one of those, I think this is one of those stories where he was supposed to die in the first episode and they're like, but he's great. So we're just
No,
going to keep
that's
him
like
around.
Felicity, right?
Felicity? I don't know. I know my other example for that is Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad. He was supposed to die in the first season.
I think Felicity was supposed to be gone after one episode of Arrow.
Oh, Felicity Smoke. I was thinking the show Felicity. I was going all the way. So you're like, I
No.
don't think Felicity was. I was like, the name, the show was named after her. No, Felicity. I think you're right. I think that was another one. And then another great example is in Justified. Walton Goggins' character was supposed to be just be in the first episode, but it's Walton fucking Goggins, and so he became the co-lead essentially.
Yeah.
So listen, actors out there, you make the right choice, you might become top billed in the show
And you make the wrong choice and they retake the pilot and kick you out.
and kick you out. Probably a lot more stories of that.
To Lisa Kudrow in Frasier.
Oh, really? Well, things worked out for her.
Totally.
Yeah.
But like, ooh,
Oof.
that would have sucked.
Oof, oof, oof. All right. Moving on to, speaking of oof, let's move on to The Flash. This is season 9, episode 19. It's my party and I'll die if I want to. Team Flash throws a surprise birthday party for Barry, his 30th, by the way, his second 30th birthday, by the way. But things go terribly awry when Ramsey Russo crashes the festivities. Roxy,
Yeah,
is it
okay.
safe to say, all qualifiers, that this is the best episode of this season so far?
Here's what I don't understand. Why did they have to give us Diggle, Wally, and Oliver in the same episode? Couldn't we have spread that joy out?
Good question.
Like,
Also,
why? And then
couldn't
Oliver's
this have just
not
been-
in it for the first half, and I was like, what's happening?
oh no, Roxy, I wanted, when I texted you about it, I was like, I need to make sure she understands that I don't think this is a good episode because that first half is such a fucking chore to get through. Like information, like it's his second 30th birthday. I'm like,
Wait,
fucking
yeah,
why, man?
I almost paused to rewind and record and send it to you because it was the logic behind why it was his second 30th, and they didn't just say we're celebrating your 31st, and they like it was like because your particles stayed in place, and therefore, like, have you guys lost your mind?
And also, that's not how birthdays work, dude.
Sure.
He's still been on the planet for 30 plus years. It's the amount of time. Why? fucking
How
why,
old
man?
your body says it is. We're not trees. We don't have rings like that. Like the whole fucking thing, DJ. When they said that, I was like, you didn't. This is the weird, confusing part about the show. You didn't have to do that.
Yes. You went out of your way for that one.
Why did you guys? We could have just had a birthday party for him. It's been
And
a
they're like-
long pandemic and but whatever.
Mhm.
Like, why? Why did
there's
you
like-
guys?
Well, because his last birthday, they had to fight Cicada. Dude, nobody knows. Nobody cares. Nobody. Was that an did we point out that it was his birthday? Was that the episode's point? No, it was Cicada, man. We're not watching that fucking season, dude. Fucking.
I couldn't.
It's his
believe
birthday.
it.
Just have it be his birthday.
And then, like, I was excited to have Diggle there because we love Diggle. But
Yes.
in terms of Barry, like, the most important to be there is Wally.
Yes.
But we paired Wally in an episode that we had Oliver. So obviously, Wally's going to be out. We're never going to care more about Wally, who we had for a season, than we did Oliver.
Yes.
You know what this episode also reminded me, DJ? I'm all the fuck over the place right now, but
So is this episode.
yeah. I completely forgot about the premise of Arrow, which was excellent with his kid
Uh-huh.
list.
Yeah.
I was like, that was so great. Like
Mhm.
when we had purpose and it was like, why is Oliver Queen doing all of this? Oh, right.
Yeah.
To avenge. Cross it off,
Mhm.
cross it off, cross it off. That is like so easy to get behind and understand conceptually why we were doing all this. What are we doing now?
Yeah.
Other
Well,
than, are you your city's guardian angel? I don't know.
oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Hold on. Hold
Yep.
on. Hold
Sorry.
on. Hold on.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry,
Also,
DJ.
the
I'm so
birthday
sorry.
premise is a bad premise to begin with because why the fuck isn't Cisco there?
Cisco has been ostracized from the community.
Like, because it's if we're bringing all these people back, fucking, and I feel like my big takeaway from this episode, and we'll get to because there's things I like about it, and I'll get, and they're all Stephen Amell and reminding me like, oh yeah, I used to like these shows.
Where's Supergirl?
Yeah, that's the thing is whatever. Take all the things you've been doing this season and throw them straight in the fucking trash, and whatever budget you have, blow it on your guest stars. Supergirl should have an episode. Because the moments where Barry is interacting with Oliver, it's like this is what you should have been doing all season. Each episode should be this because it's a good reminder of like it's bringing out the best in Barry. Stephen Amell's fucking great. Like he just steps right back in the role. Yeah, all the Spectre. I thought he was done being Spectre. I thought he was just dead. I guess he's still Spectre. Does that make any sense? No, it fucking doesn't. Do I care? No, because it's Barry and Oliver like fucking hanging out, and we get a cool green interaction sequence, and I'm like, yeah, cool, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. My standards at this point are very low.
Wait, is this in regards to the Flash? Leonard Kim says there are also 4 episodes left. Maybe they have other things to get in those 4 episodes. And Mike
Yes.
said they announced that the last 4 episodes are a 4-part series finale.
I know the next one. Let's put this up, Mike Joyce. That they announced that the last 4 episodes are 4-part series finale. Fuck. I guess there's only. I guess I'll stick with it. It's only 4 more episodes, but god damn it, god fucking. Yeah, let me see if you agree with this, Roxy. This should have been the series finale.
It did feel that way when Barry's outside and Wally goes gets him and he's like pensive and stuff. But then also it didn't because what happened this season.
Great point. Okay. I'm gonna get one more really super fucking dumb thing. There's a bunch of dumb things. I did like Ramsey Russo just because I like that actor from Heroes, and so it was like, oh, I guess I'm glad he's here. Keone, fucking everything with Keone. Fucking goddamn it.
I know.
So she comes in. So Ramsey Russo turns everybody into zombies with his blood poison, which is a lot more horrifying than I think the show realizes, especially when we're talking about Iris and oh my god, Iris is only partially because the baby has a healing factor, and it's like fucking
the way that I tune out of these episodes sometimes, I'm just like my brain is protecting me when Keone comes on.
Oh my god. So she comes in and she freezes Diggle and she's like, it's okay. I just froze the water in his body. Excuse me? That doesn't sound like they're dead.
What's his name? The dude of this season?
Which the new Cisco?
Yes.
Crump. It's something goofy. Sorry, everybody. And that actor's fine. I'm nothing against the actor. I'm sorry. It's just
That
you're not
guy
Cisco.
is like, what happened? She's like, it's fine.
Don't worry. I just froze all of the water in this human body. Oh, so you killed him is what happened. You murdered this person.
Theoretically, if you flick him, does
Yeah.
he shatter?
And also like because I don't know, and again we're talking about a superhero universe, but you know when people like to talk about cryo freeze and stuff like that, in reality, if you freeze a person, they are dead. They die.
Unless it's the head of Walt Disney.
Yeah, so like the idea is that maybe you can make them undead, but they are fucking dead. So anyway, Stephen Amell is great. The way we get him in the episode is stupid. Seeing him and Barry interact is cool. The show instead of reminding me of bullshit that I didn't watch or I didn't care about, reminding me about the stuff like you're talking about the kill list. I'm like, oh yeah, Arrow season 1 was fucking good, man.
Can we do that? Like,
yeah, please.
I wish that they sat down for the Flash, like a writer's room, and said, "What is the arc of our final season?" And did something like a kill list. Obviously, that doesn't work for the Flash, but here's what we need to accomplish in the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So that we could just like be on board with where we were. And that maybe the Flash has to go see Supergirl to get one of the clues. And then Oliver needs to come back to help with another thing. Like,
Yeah.
by the way, what we also haven't mentioned with Oliver, you can come back because what?
Because the multiverse is threatened, but also Ramsey Russo has weakened it, so I don't have my Spectre powers. Fucking Barry can time travel, man. We couldn't figure out a better way to get Stephen Amell back into the show.
Also, has the multiverse not been in trouble?
Dude, since then, okay, hold on a second. I'm so glad you brought this up. So Oliver says this, and then Barry says something along the lines of like, "Oh, that's right. When Red Death was here, she said she thought she was at a different timeline, but it turns out she was in a different multiverse." Isn't that the same thing?
I don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's the same. Well, I guess when we're talking about different timeline, I guess it's like Flashpoint where the timeline's overwritten. So it's not that you went to another universe. It's that your timeline. What are we doing?
Yeah. But the multiverse has only been at risk in this moment.
And this is where we're since Crisis, the first time we're finding out that the multiverse is still a thing.
Didn't it shatter?
I don't know. Leonard
all
Kim
that
says
merge.
that, but even then, even Crisis didn't commit to that because remember it ends with that like montage of like, but also remember Titans is here, Stargirl's here, Swamp Thing's here.
Oh yeah, didn't we have the JSA?
Yeah, we had like. And they just did a multiverse thing in fucking Titans.
Wait, go ahead.
Leonard Kim says the way you all talk about Flash like you're being tortured is hilarious. That's because we are Leonard Kim. It feels like the show hates us.
I have a question for you, DJ.
I'll do my best to answer.
It's not about the Flash. This
okay.
is the most ignorant question, though. For somebody who used to host DC Movie News, I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
When I play the Flash, what comes on automatically after every week is Gotham Knights.
Yes.
What is that show?
Oh, Roxy, did you miss the Gotham Knights discourse? So it is a show that takes place Batman in a future where Batman has died, and now his son, who's not Dick Grayson or Tim Drake or Jason Todd, it's a new character. It's just a new character they invented for the show. It has to figure out who killed Batman, and he teams up with a bunch of C-list DC Batman characters to solve it, and apparently it is not good.
This is a live action show?
Yes.
In the same Arrowverse?
No, Arrowverse is dead with Flash.
Who did this?
I don't know, and I can't imagine it's long for this world because CW is being sold off for parts.
Well, every time it pops up, I'm like, at one point when we were doing Super TV Showdown, this would have been something we were covering.
This is something, Roxy, you don't even know. Like, so I stuck with Titans up through, how they break up seasons and they have like the first half of season 4, and I was like, this show has become such a chore. And I know it's the last season. I'm just going to stop. I don't need to see how it ends. I don't care. And they released a clip where Beast Boy travels through the multiverse and he like sees Grant Morrison. I'm like, no, you're not going to trick me. I already know the show's not good. All right. I haven't caught up on Doom Patrol and I like that show.
Me too. Wait, can you please pull up Leonard Kim's second to last comment?
Stop Gotham Knights is good.
Sorry. Technically, the Flash is also connected to Titans.
Okay. Technically, the Flash is all connected to Titans, and Titans is having its own multiverse problem right now. Yeah, because Leonard Kim, are you talking about how like they acknowledge each other? Like in Crisis Infinite Earths, they acknowledge the Titans universe. Like they didn't cross over; they just acknowledged it. Like, hey, they're over there.
I don't remember.
Anyway, I like Stephen Amell.
Me too.
As Green Arrow. I liked him in this episode. I'm hoping that the next 4 episodes are just Barry hanging out with other characters that I like.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But it's a 4-part finale. What even is a 4-part finale? I've never even heard
I
of
don't
that.
know. I don't know. And I'm hoping, I'm wishing, praying, hoping that Keelan gets hit so hard in the head she just becomes Caitlin or Killer Frost again. Just become one of the characters we like again.
That would be the most incredible thing this show has ever done. Boom.
Yeah.
Caitlin?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
back now. Oh, perfect. Oh, okay. And you said what's our if they'd had like a plan for the season? Here's my pitch, Roxy. Here's what DJ says if he's in that writer's room. We do an episode that's Flash at their prime, right? We're like Team Flash is doing their thing, saving the day. At the end of the episode, Barry comes back. Everything's changed. Uh-oh. Somebody went back in time and changed history. So now Barry has to go back throughout the whole history of the show, Avengers Endgame style, and fix what's been broken, which is a good excuse for him to just a great. It's literally basically what it's. I just said Avengers Endgame. It's that. It's also Arrow season 8. It's like, hey, here's just a greatest hit, Flash greatest hits, all the stuff that you loved from the show, and maybe some nods to the things maybe we didn't love so much, but they exist, so we're acknowledging them.
I
And
love
then,
this. You know who I want more than anybody, randomly?
well, hear me out.
Heat Wave and
Yeah.
Captain Cold.
Yes.
That's who I want
Yes.
more than anybody. Let's go back. Let's
Yeah.
pick it with the people that made this show great.
Yes, 100%. And you know what? I got to imagine that's going to be easier to pull off than Supergirl, which
Remember when we
I'm
had
also
Grog this
trying to
season?
do. Huh?
Remember when we had Grog this season?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like, that should have been bomb, right?
Yeah. And maybe that's what you do. It turns out like, yeah, Grodd's the big bad. You guys have been asking for it for 8 seasons. He's the big bad. He'll only be on screen for like 2 episodes, but he's the big bad. You're welcome. Here you go.
It's really only his shadow.
Yeah, exactly. It says, my planning. Whatever. This is my favorite episode of the season so far. Still not. By that I mean it was mostly almost watchable.
Yep.
Let us move
Right.
to Ted Lasso. This is season 3, episode 7. The strings that bind us. The Greyhounds try a new strategy that has everyone thinking outside the box. Sam prepares to host a VIP guest at Ola's.
Here's the good news, DJ.
Yes,
This show is so good.
this show is very good. I do have concerns,
Oh, no.
specifically with Keely and Jack and what we're doing there.
Okay, is it because you didn't feel like she was love bombing and then all of a sudden the show like shoved that into our throats, or what?
No, I very much agree. Because again, I think like everybody, I'm like, well, Keely's going to end up with Roy.
Right.
It's kind of like, are you caught up on Abbott Elementary?
Yes. Which I'm so sad is off right now.
Yeah, all the will they, won't they feels like a massive waste of time to me.
In the season finale, it's such a bummer because you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, just fucking.
Still
Well,
no?
I'm being selfish right now. Are you like why? The premise, it would make more sense if they like gave him the principal job and now he's her boss. That is a
Literally,
complication.
There's nothing about her that's selfish. What's happening?
And so it just feels like you're dragging your heels. Just fucking commit. Similarly, I feel like if this show ends with Keely, not with Roy, that's a problem. Like that's gonna like we're talking like Lost level, like Game of Thrones Lost levels, people mad at the finale type shit. So all this Jack shit kind of feels like I don't know what we're doing. It kind of feels like a waste of time. And like and we get a very good out when she's like, yeah, she's love bombing you, and it's like, yeah, man, break up.
Okay.
Get back with Roy.
I'm not okay. I don't know whether I've got rose-colored glasses on or what. None of this is bothering me because the only thing that will bother me is if she doesn't end up with Roy. Like,
Yes.
in life, things get messy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You date people who aren't right for you. They're not horrible people, but they're not right for you. You have different love languages, right? DJ, you're familiar with love languages.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, Jack's love language is gifts.
Yeah.
And that's not Keely's. Hers probably is a mixture of quality time and words of affirmation.
Yeah.
And Roy has not been able to give her what she needs. because he doesn't believe in himself. But Jack will never be able to give her what she needs because they don't speak the same love language. Especially even
Yeah.
when Jack was like, okay, you can do the next thing for me, but it has to be amazing. And it's like, okay, no pressure, babe.
Yeah.
But we don't hate Jack. Jack's not a villain.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it because sometimes it takes this. Also, it sucks when it takes this, but like it takes Roy looking at this to be like, that girl's not good enough for Keely. I
Yeah.
am. I'm
Hmm.
right for her. And
Yeah.
hopefully he sucks it up in his like sense of doubt and just realizes like you're the one. I'm more concerned about what's going on with Rebecca.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
We do a lot of focus on Sam this episode, which thank goodness because we've been really avoiding his character. And
Yeah.
I love Sam, and this restaurant thing was really moving.
Yeah, it was really moving. And the actor, I should look up his name. The actor that plays the dad, he was also in Game of Thrones. Fucking
Excellent.
great. So
Excellent.
good.
But that moment where Sam's dad and Rebecca, I was like, okay, show, what are you doing? What are you telling us?
Well, especially, I think we're closing that loop because I don't know about you. I was very much getting like, okay, Sam and his chef. That's a thing that we're doing.
That's
That's
what I'm
happening.
hoping. I'm hoping Rebecca and Boat Bay or
Yeah,
Rebecca,
yeah.
or Rebecca and Ted.
I love Boat Bay. That's such a, yep, that's what we're calling the character now. Boat Bay.
Boat
That's
Bay.
it.
But Rebecca and Ted feels a little rushed at this point because how many episodes do we have, DJ?
Great question. Hold on. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Nanso Anosi plays Ola, Sam's dad. Fucking fantastic. I hope someday I'm a father like that my kids can trust in me that way. And we have, oh my God, we only have like 5 episodes left.
So it's just like, I don't think we're going to be able to put Rebecca and Ted together.
Yeah, I do like Boat Bay. I was with Keely. Like, wait, you didn't get his number? Like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Also, wait a second. Oh, Nate. I want to throw this out there. Roxy, feel free to disagree with me. Speaking of love bombing, listen, my advice, don't, asking somebody out on a date does not, especially a first date, does not need to be a production. Just ask them out. In fact, making a map or like a little like arts and crafts project, to me, reads as creepy and kind of stalkery and like peeking in the window and shit. Like Nate has like mad stalker vibes this episode. And it's like, I don't feel like we should be rewarding this behavior. That said, I do like when he gets the moment in the mirror. I'm like, don't fucking spit at yourself, dude. You're okay. Fucking calm down. And he does, and I'm like, God, thank God.
I agree with that. I don't know how you feel, but I've never hoped that Nate's arc is that he ends up with the waitress or hostess.
Yeah.
I've always hoped that Nate's arc, like when he was like, wait, I got to do something first. I thought he was going to go run and apologize to Ted.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like, I can't move forward with how I'm living right now. How do I, like, because not everybody, I don't like when shows, everyone's happy ending is that they find their person. Like, we know that's going to happen with Roy and Keely.
Yeah.
We think that's going to happen with Rebecca, that she's going to end up with somebody. Why is Nate's arc going to be, I end up with the waitress? Like, can we just have him be a good human and realize, like, it doesn't lift you up to put other people down? That's what I feel like would make me feel good about Nate's journey.
Yeah, I agree. Because I also don't remember why she was mean to him to begin. Like, I don't remember how this began. Because I guess because I didn't think it was going to be like the key to Nate's journey.
Right. And now I think she's nice because he's not nice, but she said yes because he's successful, and like another bad message.
Yeah. A little wonky there. Mike Joyce asks, is the show trying to redeem Nate? 100% they are. I guarantee you he is going to be the coach of Greyhounds when Ted leaves. If this is truly the last season, Ted going to leave, Nate going to be coach of the Greyhounds. That's where we're going.
I think you could be right. However, is there a world in which Roy is the coach?
Listen, I'm all for it. I mean, there's the rumors that we're going to get a Roy and Keely spinoff, and I'm there for that shit. I love Roy. Roy's fucking great.
What do you think happens with Jamie Tart?
Dude, great moment this episode. This feels like the first time we've really focused on like the soccer of it, or excuse me,
Yes.
the football, excuse me.
How dare you?
And I like that they spent the time. We started this last episode, which I really loved. We spent the time going with an actual strategy. I love that they couch it in a real thing. Like, Ted, you didn't invent this. This has been around.
That
And
was
I
hysterical because have you ever had that moment, DJ?
yes,
I
of
thought I
course.
invented 2-in-1 shampoo and
Hmm.
conditioner and thought
Yeah,
I was about to revolutionize the world.
yeah.
Like,
And they're like, nope,
and
that's a
when you
thing.
feel that way, I was 7 and I
Hmm.
ran into my parents' room soaking wet and I was like,
Hmm.
I've done it.
Hmm.
And when you find out you haven't done it, it's like the
Like
most
ah.
relatable feeling. Like my friend thought he invented springtime Oreos or double stuffed Oreos. Like
Hmm.
it is
Yep.
just it's like the moment where you take off the 2 Oreos, put it together, and think you have created,
You've done the thing.
you've
Yep.
done the thing.
Yep.
I loved that because it's happened to everybody where you're like, and leave in the comments, by the way, what is the thing you thought you created? Because I know you thought
Yes.
you created something.
What is the thing that you thought? Please let us know. Yeah, and so I like because it's a good whatever. It was a good moment, and it would be disingenuous like suddenly Ted is a football genius. And Jamie's solution of like everybody playing through him, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like I don't know, I don't follow football, so I'm hoping for football fans it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a good moment for him. It's a great moment. It's a cool moment. What we're doing for Jamie, I think this, I don't, or do you think we're kind of like working towards some sort of like larger end goal?
Well, he has said like I don't think we're done with. I want to call him Zasloff, but that's the Warner Brothers guy. What is
Yes.
what's the name
Trent
of
Krim?
what?
Trent Krim?
No, what's the name of
Oh, Zava.
Zava?
Yeah.
Jamie was like, I want to be as great as Zava. I want to be better than Zava.
Yeah.
So I think and also Keely had this whole like, wow, he's not who he used to be moment.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we need something for him.
We
Like,
need to bring
does
desperate, not just
Zava
for
come
him.
back to another
He's
team
he's got
and
to, right?
he's
Otherwise the
facing
Zava
against
thing feels
them?
pointless.
Right, right. And like they
Yeah.
go head to head and something. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like you're onto it.
I did
Not just for
love,
Nate, but for the show.
yeah, yeah. I loved him. I love his arc being about like his profession
Hmm.
because he's a football player.
Yeah.
So I do love that. Like him realizing he needs to play um midi instead of forward or whatever it is because even though that might look like a step back, he like is giving other people chances to shine and whatever. Maybe he becomes captain.
Oh yeah, maybe. Although I like the character that we
Me
have in that
too. It
role right
doesn't feel
now.
right to him.
Yeah. Uh, Good episode. Interested to see where we go. It does feel like we have a very short runway to resolve all the stuff we've put into this season. But as you pointed out, the episodes are longer. So
Yeah, they're much longer.
yeah. Some might say too long.
No,
Okay. Roxy does not say that. Roxy denies that.
some might be wrong.
Some might be wrong. Let's move over to Dave. Very excited to talk about this episode with you. This is season 3, episode 5, The Storm. Dave gets a lesson in Southern hospitality. Hospitality. Oh my God. Dave gets a lesson in Southern hospitality, courtesy of his number one fan. And I don't know about you, Roxy. When this episode started, we started with the super fan. And I was like, ooh, what are we doing? And then the fan gets invited on stage and things, for those that didn't watch the episode, she is on the heavier side and the audience makes fun of her basically when she's on stage. And so Dave has her backstage and then invites her on tour. And I thought what we were setting up is crazy fan story. And I'm like, I don't know that I want this. And the direction we go was much more interesting.
Me too. I'm so with you, DJ. I also like that this episode acknowledges that when you are a nuanced creator,
Yeah.
sometimes you create an audience that does not represent who you are in your soul, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved seeing this audience be shitheads
Yeah.
because there's a part of Dave that's a little shit.
Mm-hmm.
And some of your fans suck.
Yeah.
And I also then loved him like trying to overcompensate for that by giving her a
Hmm.
great experience when like signing the t-shirt would have been adequate.
Yes. And also not freaking out like you are the conductor of that audience's energy when you bring her up on stage. You could turn that shit around.
But he's not capable of that, you know,
Yeah.
like I kind of wanted to see Gata step in and
Yeah.
rein it in there. The Gata stuff was really interesting this episode.
Yes.
Um I was a little surprised with some of the places that they went with it because I didn't see all of that. Like, have you seen Gata? You know, Gata not being able to be alone and stuff like that. We've kind of seen, you know, hype man
Yeah.
energy, but is this the first time we've seen Gata like not treat a woman well, but like this scenario?
I think for me it tracks because we've seen him with women basically every episode this season, and we've made it very clear that while Dave is struggling with this part, Gata's like really diving in, for lack of a better word. And what I liked about this episode, so for people that didn't watch it, basically, Dave invites this fan to go on tour with him. They go to pick her up in the tour bus, and they get stranded there during a hurricane. And the family is kind of like your typical, like, I think they're Mississippi or something, conservative, almost deliverance level family. And what I find, I think it would
With a
have been
bunch of
very,
black and brown and Jewish people in their home.
yes. And what I think would have been a very easy low hanging fruit is to be like, well, fuck these guys, right? And what they kind of land on is this more nuanced of like, these people don't understand you, but also you don't understand them. And just because you see the ways that this belief system is very specifically is keeping this girl from pursuing dance, and it's positive to want to help her pursue that. That does not, but maybe she does take her faith seriously, and maybe there is values in this. And I thought that was the compelling part with Gata is that we're very condescending, not unintentionally, but we're very condescending to this family. And seeing all their problems, like look at all their problems. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they think dancing is lustful. What weirdos! But on the flip side, one, we know all Dave's red flags, but also Gata's going through shit. Like Gata's like he does have a problem with sex, like his sexual relationships. He has a problem there, and in that moment where she offers to pray for him, he sees value in that. And so it's like just like they have like we can acknowledge they have problems, obviously, but you have problems too. And so it's and as somebody that grew up in the South, and as somebody that has moved to not physically but also mentally into a more liberal space. And interacting with people that grew up in more liberal spaces, it's very easy for people in that mindset to be dismissive of people in other parts of the country. And it's like, well, hold, it's I'm trying to validate because clearly this family has some fucked up shit. I'm not trying to validate all that. Just saying they're people too. There's nuance there. There's, you know what I mean? Like, and the show acknowledging that, I think it acknowledged it in a very smart way. And I think it ended in a very positive way with the fan in particular. And then we see, even though she doesn't necessarily in her mind have issues with her family or living with her family or being here, she does pursue her dance. You know what I mean? And so there's a compromise there that I think is cool. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I hear you totally. I think that the dance thing was like a little cliche. Like,
Oh yeah.
but the episode I think did a very good job of, like you said, like they've got blatant problems, but you have equal problems that are just like less surface
Yeah.
and less on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, and also like just the lesson in doing too much sometimes is doing too much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just like it's not always yours to chime in on. And then my favorite episodes and moments and things like this, kind of like, did you watch You People?
No.
The Do you know what
The
I'm
Jonah
talking about?
Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah. Monica watched it. I heard mixed things, so I didn't bother checking it out.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But the moments when they're in there and they're talking about like slavery versus the Holocaust or whatever, I just like Dave is so annoying.
Yeah.
And not wrong about some things, but like, because to say that the Holocaust, like that the Jews have never been enslaved, is just false. Like the Jews have been
Yeah.
enslaved over and over and over again. But you are currently in a house in which, if you pretend to be not Jewish, which you shouldn't have to do, but if you
Yeah.
just don't fucking mention it, they don't know
Yeah.
who you are. You are in very different situations here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And like not acknowledging, and his inability to acknowledge that,
Yeah.
because he's like trying to relate to the plight.
Yeah. And it's also not a competition. You know what I mean? It's not.
It's just a great scene where like Dave is the leader of the group, and he makes for an ass leader.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. All right. Good episode. Good episode of Dave. Just to touch on real quick, because we're running tight on time. I did catch up on Yellowjackets. Misty is a problem. I do think, I guess it's a week old, so we can get into spoilers. Spoilers for Yellowjackets. This was one of the few, the situation with Misty was one of the few times where we pulled our punches a little bit. I think it's more within the shows. If she'd pushed her, the fact that it was an accident, it was like, it feels like a little bit of a cop out.
What are the words that are coming out of her mouth?
I mean, yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying I would have had her push.
He backs her over the edge and says, spoilers, I will fucking kill you.
Yes.
And kills her.
And then kills her. Oh my God. Misty. Is Misty or Misty? Misty. It's Misty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then you mentioned, and I know you feel differently. I think we're in full on supernatural territory. I don't think the show's being ambiguous about. I think the show wants to be ambiguous about it, but it's like there's supernatural shit going on in this show.
What are you talking about right now?
The fact that like the Nat's talking about they brought the darkness with them, and then Lottie looks over and she sees her shadow with like antlers, and it's like there's fucking demon shit going on here.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
You had a theory that you texted me that I thought was really smart.
Okay, so what's the character's name? I want to get the character's name.
Dreamer.
It's Dreamer. Yeah, it is Dreamer. It's Nicole Maines, I think, is the actress from fucking Supergirl. She played Dreamer. Yeah, Nicole Maines, who's great in the show. I just feel like
she is.
But
great in the show.
Again, worth mentioning. A couple things. One, show has lost vibes, so my brain's in theory mode. And two, in the flashbacks, Shauna is pregnant with a child that we have not seen in the present.
And a child that Lottie has said is a boy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. And
for some reason, Lottie
it's part of the magic that Roxy thinks is not there, but I think is very much there. There's definitely magic. It's
kind of like how Keon knows.
Oh my fucking God. What does that mean? Why do we keep doing that? What do we do? There is no answer. There's no answer to the Keon question that will be good. There's nothing they could reveal about Keon that will be like, oh, it was worth it. It doesn't exist.
Wait, can I take you on a little journey right now? And I swear I'll bring us back.
Yes.
On Riverdale, which we're stuck in the 1950s. Something happened.
I heard Riverdale's has been way off the rails for seasons now.
But apparently the way that they started doing pregnancy tests in the 50s is that you would take the urine of a woman.
Oh, and put it in the rabbit?
In a frog.
Oh, in a frog. Okay.
And if the frog laid eggs overnight, you were pregnant. And there's science to that. In 24 hours.
I knew about the rabbit, and then if the rabbit dies or something.
I then Googled it, and this is how they used to do pregnancy tests.
Did it work? Like, was it accurate?
It seems like whatever the chemical is in your urine, if you are pregnant, when put in a frog, the frog immediately has kids.
That is upsetting. That is upsetting to think.
Very upsetting.
Are you having frog babies? I'm not going to be able to get into that right now. I can't. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So in theory mode, but we have this baby in the past that we have not seen in the present, and we know cannibalism is a thing. And so my brain is desperately hoping for like a twist as opposed to they eat the baby, because the show is dark enough that they might eat the fucking baby, and I don't.
No one would be shocked. If you watch a show and you're shocked that they eat the baby, then you're watching a different show.
Yeah, and I just don't. I don't want to. I can't unpack that. So I'm thinking. So anyway, point being, we've spent a lot of time with Nicole Main's character in part of Lottie's compound with Nat, and and the actress is a trans actress. So I'm wondering if the reveal it would actually be a reveal I could see them pulling off, that this is actually like Shauna put the baby up for adoption after the time away. They transitioned. It's Nicole Main's character, and that's the season finale reveal. Like, this is the kid. And even though that feels like very like telenovela shit, that's not out of character for the show. And also, God, I don't want them to eat the baby.
I think it's a really great prediction. Will it happen? I don't know, but they are spending a lot of time on Nicole Main's character.
Yeah.
For us to know nothing about her.
Like, and then not have like, it just feels weird. For some reason, Elijah Wood's inclusion doesn't stand out as much as what we're doing with Nicole. It's like, we're getting into like the history with her mom and shit and stuff like that. And so it's like,
you know what we haven't talked about? Speaking of history with moms.
Yeah.
The fucking police officer going through the condom.
Oh my God. What a weird fucking plot, man. What a weird plot. I'm glad that the daughter figured it out and is now. I'm glad we've looped the daughter in. It makes her a more tolerable character to be around.
That is what I said to you last episode when you were like, "Oh my God, she's so annoying." And I was like, they make a choice next week that actually made me like be better with her.
Yeah, I don't, the family is very fucked up, like beyond fucked up. But I'm into it. I like the season. I like what we're doing. My other theory that doesn't look like it's going to pay off is adult Van being in Ty's mind, but that is probably not the case. Did we reveal another person as an adult in this episode? Did we find out that another one of the girl? No, right?
I wonder what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. For some reason, I thought I don't know. At some point, we're going to run out of girls to be adults. We got. Right. I feel like we're hitting our limit. Anyway, I asked you all what you're into, and let us get back to that. Kayla Marie, Ted Lasso, and I caught up on Schmigadoon. Schmigadoon's so fucking good. It's so. Roxy, are you caught up?
Yep.
It's so fucking good. It's so fucking funny.
The kid shit.
It's so funny. It's so fucking funny.
You know what? I can't believe that Kristen Chenoweth and Helena Bonham Carter have never done anything together. I need that. Like,
that's shocking. You're right. That's shocking.
Feel like they could be sister. Like
100%.
They're the same. They're different sides of the same coin.
100%. I'm with you. They're great. All right. So we got Leonard Kim, The Diplomat, Mrs. Davis, Rugrats, Drops of God. Leonard Kim, you're always watching shit that I don't even know.
Rugrats.
I guess they've got new on Paramount. They've got new stuff on Paramount. Drops of God, Succession, Schmigadoon, Ted Lasso, Saint X, Dave, Titans, True Lies, Citadel. Hearing not great things about Citadel. Mike Joyce, The Flash, Superman and Lois, Succession, Friends, Barry, Sports, Movies, The Covenant, Beau is Afraid, Point Break, Evil Dead Rise. I might watch Beau is Afraid.
Me too.
I'm intimidated by the runtime.
Everybody says it's so good, though.
Okay. All right. Oh, Kayla Marie says, Schmigadoon, the narrator, is so much fun this season. I fucking love the narrator. I love that he's just like sowing chaos. Like, he's always there just like fucking throwing the characters under the bus. So fucking funny. That is it for this week. Thank you all for joining us for this very special sneak peek of what we're into. If you want to hear the rest of our coverage on shows like Ted Lasso or The Flash Season 9, or if you want to hear our spoiler-free Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review, you can do that over at patreon.com/onlystupid answers. See you there.